2 Kings chapter 6.
Amen.
You have it? Amen. The company of the prophet said to Elisha, look, the place where we meet with you is too small for us. Let us go to the Jordan, where each of us can get a pole, and let us build a place there for us to live. And he said, go. Then one of them said, won't you please come with your servants? And I will, Elisha replied, and he went with them. They went to the Jordan and began to cut down trees. And as one of them was cutting down a tree, the iron axe head fell into the water. Oh my God, he cried out, it was borrowed. The man of God asked, where did it fall? And when he showed him the place, Elisha cut a stick and threw it in there and made the iron float. Lift it out, he said. Then the man reached out his hand and he took it. Can you say amen? Amen. In this scripture, there's several things that I want to pull out. One of the main things is when Elisha was in the school of prophets, it means that there was literally a school where they learned about prophecy. Okay, they learned how to prophesy. They learned, and it's interesting as believers, as Christians, we cannot be ignorant.
Come on,
okay, what's another term for ignorant? Unlearned. Everybody say unlearned. Unlearned. You need to know what is going on in the Word of God.
Amen.
You have to study. You have to know the Word of God. You have to be versed in it. You need to have a reasonable answer. You can't just think, well, I'll bring them to my pastor and he can tell me.
That's right.
That's right.
Come on. You should study it. You will never become good or great at anything unless you immerse yourself in it. The reason why many of us, in whatever we were involved in at one time or another, even now, why we're so good at whatever it is because we have immersed ourselves in it. Have you ever noticed how good you cut somebody out?
Go ahead. It's in here.
I know nobody in this room. Nobody in this church. I'm not talking about on your most spiritual day. I'm talking about the other day where the other side of you wakes up in the morning. The frosty side of your many weeks.
That's right.
All right. And so it's because you have immersed yourself in that environment or that particular thing, and it flows. You just talk and it just come out just easy. You know, it's just whatever. It's like saying good morning. Blah, 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 blah. You don't stumble with it.
That's right.
Come on. When you get angry, it's amazing how it just comes up very easy because you have spent time. You're familiar with it.
Come on, Pastor.
So he's in the school of the prophets and he's amongst other prophets, which means that he surrounds himself with like people. And he says that he's in a school of prophets. He's around like people. You have to submerge yourself around like people. Watch this. That are going in the same direction that you're going.
Come on now. That's good.
If you're going Parkway South to South Jersey and somebody's going Parkway North, they ain't going in your direction. I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't help them, but it's going to take you out of your way. And you're going to pay a toll to get on the other side. It's going to cost you.
That's right.
Come on, somebody. You have to understand that even in families, it's important that everybody know that we're going in a particular direction. I'm going to say that on this side. In families, it's important that everybody know that the family is going in a particular direction.
Amen.
If you don't have a direction for your family, no one will know where you're going.
That's right.
It's one thing for us to have a direction, or what we will call a vision, and say we're going to do this. Well, baby, how are we going to get there? I'm praying about it. I don't know all the ins and outs of how we're going to do it, but I know this is the direction that we're taking the family. It is the job of the man of the house to point the family in direction. If you're in a single parent home and it's just mama and babies, you can't be the man, but you have to be the visionary. And just because daddy's not in the house or of the house, and he may not even be around anymore, you are still responsible to show the family their direction.
Amen.
When you don't know the direction, it's your responsibility to go to God and say, God, what is the direction for my family? And you can't allow other people to dictate to you what your direction should be, other than from the Word of God. So he surrounds himself with like prophets, and they're in class, which means they spend time with each other, they study. And then they came up with this thought as they were assessing. They took the time to assess. What does it mean to assess? It means they took the time to evaluate. Many times we don't evaluate. We just keep living.
Yes. Go ahead.
But we don't evaluate. You can't do the stuff you used to do when you was 25.
Amen. Amen.
Try it. You used to be able to jump in the car, jump out the car in 2 steps and be out moving. You can't just do that. It takes you a minute to get out the car.
That's right.
Not too long ago, I was getting out the car and I forgot I like to drive my steering wheel low. So when I got out, my left leg got out, half my body got out, my right leg was still sitting in the car, and I was half out the car. And I was in pain for about 2 months. Y'all didn't know it, but I was walking funny. I was hurt bad because I tried to just do what I normally could do. As much as I love sports, football being my favorite, I can't run out there. I used to go Sundays to get the churches together. We would go out and play past the Bishop Alabama. We go out there and get on the field and play with the fellas. And I can't get out there and play like I want to. I can cheer. Come on, somebody. If I get out there, I might, walk on the field a little bit, throw the ball. That's about as much as I can do because I would hurt myself.
That's right.
I don't care how much I work out and go to the gym. I can't do the stuff that I used to do.
Amen.
You can't do the things that you used to do. You need to assess where you are. That somebody says to me, this is not that.
It's not that.
And that is not this.
It's not this. Amen.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
You're 35. You're not 17 anymore. And if you don't figure this out, somebody else will let you know.
Yes, sir.
I'm not big on how you dress. All that don't matter. How you dress up, dress down, sag. I don't really care about that. That's not the issue. I look at the person. But you can't govern yourself physically or adorn yourself like you're 16 and you're 45.
That's right. Still paying.
Your thinking has to change.
Yes, it does.
Sometimes people are stuck in elementary thinking as a child. Paul said, when I was a child, I spake like a child. And I did childish things. But when I became or processed as a man, I put away those childish things. I didn't wait for somebody else to come tell me to put it away. I didn't even wait for the Holy Spirit to speak to me. I put it away.
Yes.
My mother used to tell me, when you finish playing with them toys, put them up.
That's right. That's right.
Nobody wants to walk down the hallway and trip over your toys.
That's right.
That's right.
What's happening in the body of Christ worldwide is people are still playing and people are tripping over the time. You won't play, you play. But don't leave it out in the middle of the floor so everybody else has to trip over it.
All right now.
Jesus.
The Bible says don't be a stumbling block
That's right.
or an offense to somebody.
That's right.
Look at somebody say, fix that thing.
Fix that thing.
Hallelujah.
He said, look, the place where we meet with you is too small. So he said, listen, check it out. He said, the place that we gather for class, it is too small. We want to expand. It's too small. You have to know when things have changed in your life.
Amen.
You have to know when you are not the person you used to be.
Amen.
One of the things that happens in relationships, let's talk about that for a minute. Don't get tight on me, just breathe, it'll be all right. What happens in relationships is sometimes one person is growing and the other person is not growing as fast. Doesn't mean they're not growing, but they're not moving as fast. Now, if we're going to move together, that means somebody's going to have to slow down. I just want to know you. Sometimes you're going to have to slow down and catch up with each other so we can get our rhythm back.
That's right.
Because if we plan to do this for any length of time, we're going to have to have our rhythm together.
That's right.
Yes. Yes.
If you're doing business, you want to have a business partner that's not so far ahead of you. You want to make sure that you have a nice balance between the two of you, an equilibrium. Remember we talked about that the other day, about a double-minded man being unstable in all his ways, and I gave you the illustration. So they assessed where they were, and they said the place is too small for us. Now, when you assess it, you just can't say, "Ooh, thank you, Lord. You showed me that place is too small for us. Ooh, thank you for the revelation. Ooh, thank you for the impartation." What are you going to do about it?
That's right.
Do something.
Once he shows you that certain things in your life are not working, what are you going to do about it?
Amen.
Once he shows you some things about you that is not correct, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to say, "Oh Lord, I'm so glad you spoke to me in that church. I thank you, God. You were so faithful. You pointed out that my attitude was just stinking like dirty garbage can on Sesame Street. Ooh, I thank you." But now that you know that, what are you going to do about it?
Amen.
Once he points out to you that you need to get better and become more progressive and change. Nobody's riding horses and buggies no more. At least not here. How much country they are. But ain't nobody riding the horses and buggy out here today. So if you don't change your thinking about it, you're going to be left behind.
That's right.
What used to work in your relationship when you was 20 doesn't work when you're 40.
That's right. Right now.
Amen.
Do it, do.
That's why you want to, Diane. It's not working. So you have to figure it out.
That's right.
Learn how to listen to other people when they speak to you and get some instruction. And some people say, this is not working. If I'm hugging you, and you say it's proper religion, of course, and I'm hugging you, and you say, "You're holding me too tight. You're too rough."
Come on.
Well, this is just the way I do it. Fix that. This is just the way I do it.
Jesus.
Amen.
If someone tells you that this is not working, you have to make the adjustment.
That's right.
Amen.
Bless God. That's good, Pastor.
If I'm finicky about my car and I say, "Babe, please don't get in the car and put your makeup on in the car, because you get in the car with makeup and you have a tendency to spill your powder on the seat, lipstick fall every time. Please just don't do that. Can you do that in the house? I'll give you 10 more minutes, wake up 10 more minutes, do that, so you don't have that in the car." And if I tell you that,
That's right.
and you say, "It don't make no difference." Now, I told you that if you get in the car, we have already assessed that this doesn't work for me.
Amen.
So when you do that, what you're saying to me is what I have assessed or what troubles me doesn't even matter. I'm preaching better than y'all saying something. I don't need to say that. We have to be good listeners. Why is this important in the natural? Because when God speaks to us about it, he said, "Hey, this is what you're doing. This ain't working for me."
Jesus.
But we hear him speak through the word, through songs, through preaching, through teaching. He tugs at our heart. He gives us dreams. He gives us vision. Sometimes he allows nightmares to come. And we get all this, and still we hear him. We have catastrophe, and we still do what we want to do.
That's right. Amen.
Look, somebody say, "That's who you are."
That's where you are.
So let's go. Let us go to the Jordan, where each of us can get a poll. Now, when you're going to assess where you are, say this with me. Don't go up by yourself.
By yourself.
Being successful in any arena in your life, any area, is not about you. Now, this is hard for the saints to swallow, especially saints. Because when we get to a place, we think it's all about us. Oh, I know.
That's right, Pastor.
When we finally get to a place of progress in any area, it doesn't even have to be huge, we tend to think it's about me, y'all.
Amen.
Amen.
God is never interested in you going up by yourself.
That's right.
It's always about us. In fact, he said it's not good that man should be alone. So he created Eve, did he not?
That's right.
And then they created their families.
That's right.
He doesn't want you going up by yourself.
Bless God.
He wants you to be a blessing to other people. He wants you to include. He said, let us, even when God came down to confuse the language of those that were at the Tower of Babel, he said, let us, he talked to the Godhead, let us go down and confuse their language. Because ministry-minded people think bigger than just themselves.
Amen.
I mean, my mother and father used to teach me as a kid. You know, you go to the store and you got 5 friends on the steps. You don't come back with a bag of potato chips, bag and whatever. You don't come back with a bag of potato chips this small, and you got 5 friends sitting on the step. You're gonna sit there again. That you did what you had.
Come on, Pastor.
Come on.
Go ahead.
You ain't gonna get no Mike and Ike and shake the box in front of them. But my father and mother would say, get enough for everybody.
That's right.
Come on, somebody. Because it's not just about you. Now, because what they were teaching me is that if everybody can't benefit, then you don't get enough.
I know that's true.
Because why? They're no friends. They're sitting with you. They could be sitting with somebody else. So you're showing them that you don't value them when you sit there and eat just for yourself. You never know when you're going to need.
You don't never know who's going to need me. Amen.
So he said, let us go to the Jordan. Now the Jordan was a dirty place. It was a murky place. Right? And he says, where each of us can get a pole, which means that all of us can get involved in what is going on. One of the things about building ministry and building successful ministry is that it can't be just done by the pastor.
That's right. Amen.
It can't be, the church cannot be pastor-centered. It must be God-centered, who he entrusts the church as the pastor to run. But it's not about the pastor. Some people get caught up with, I appreciate love, respect, and all that kind of stuff, but you should still be able to go on without me.
Amen.
Come on, somebody.
Amen.
This is how you can tell when you start having the heart of your pastor. Is when you're able to go out and function in life, and you can hear my words and I'm not with you.
Lord, right now.
You get yourself in a situation and you say, you know what, that sounds just like what Pastor was talking about. I can hear him telling me now with his little smirk on his face. Da, 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 da. That's the same thing. Even as a grown man, my mother's not lying. I can still hear her voice in my head at certain situations that I get in. Are you with me? He said, let's each one of us get a pole and let us build a place there for us to live. They were expanding where they were living, right? They said, they assessed this place is too small for us. Let's go bigger. Let's broaden our horizons. I don't want to broaden it by myself. Let everybody, come on, let's all do this together. And everybody had the same mindset where they all went out to where the Jordan River was and they all were able to have a pole. In the small location they were at, only they all couldn't have the same thing.
That's right.
Let me say it again. Before they went to the Jordan River, where they were with the school of prophets, it was very tight, very constrained, very small place. There was no opportunity for each one of them to have an individual pole. Okay, their individual dwelling place.
That's right.
So he says, let us go to Jordan so we can expand. Everybody can have. Some people like keeping things small.
Come on and speak that thing.
That's good.
Some people like keeping things small so that they can be important. Right? Come on, somebody. So you can be the only one that everybody has to look to. And nobody else wants. We don't like to grow because in growing that means that we have to share.
Wow.
I want somebody to say good morning, praise the Lord to me. And if we got 20 or 30 more people or 60 more people, they might not get to me when I walk in. Let us build a place there for us to live. And he said go. So he gave them permission, which means that they had enough respect for the leader to say, can we do this?
That's right.
Why is it important to have that kind of honor and respect? Because the leader has the ability to see things further than where you are and tell you what's coming. Right. I'm going to say that again. The leader has the ability to see things down the road and to see what is coming. That you might say, oh, I can see for myself. God gave me 20/20 and 40/40 because I have glass on. I can see all the way down the road. But you can't see everything.
All right.
Sometimes God has... My mother used to stand on the steps and watch me walk to the bus stop. Which means that she could see further down the road than I could.
That's right.
When I was small and I couldn't get to see over top of the car, she could say, stop. I'm not, what else done going on? I said, I stop. I see what's coming. Sometimes when God gives us the ability, we can see further than actually where you are. I'm not getting no help in this building.
Amen. Yes, he can.
Sometimes people look at pastors and say, you know, I don't want the pastor to know my business. I don't know what I'm going through. Do you think I don't? Why would God entrust me to take care of you and not show me what he needs me to see?
Amen.
That's the benefit of having a pastor. It's not so I can come and say, now what's going on with you? That's not the purpose of why he showed me. He showed me what he showed me so I can pray for you, so I can cover you and keep the blood over your life while you're going through whatever you're going through. So I can pull you by your coat and say, hey, now you need to fix this.
That's right.